Looking for content to make amid a drought of ideas, I have been scrolling through endless Minecraft videos looking for anything that feels different, like a glitch or an anomaly, just something that doesn't immediately explain itself and requires further investigation. That's when I stumbled across an interesting channel with 3 subscribers and only 1 Minecraft video uploaded. Zeke 248. Zeke only had 1 video uploaded titled Strange Minecraft Seed, and when you click on it, there's no intro, no music, it just automatically starts. He's wandering through the basalt biome in the Nether, which is one of the more spookier Minecraft biomes, and before anything unusual even appears, Zeke opens the chat.
Hey there, to anyone who sees this. This might sound a little stupid, but I haven't played MC in a while. Was exploring these new biomes in the Nether, which are pretty cool, but found this really strange structure. Let me show you.
Zeke then confidently walks over to what appears to be a ginormous basalt wall with 2 bamboo doors. He walks in and sees this.
Found these about 2 days ago and have not logged back on since that one spot. The pink one is the only one I went into, but it was pretty empty.
Zeke then describes something strange.
When I went inside 2 days ago, I felt a really sharp pressure in my chest. Wasn't really pain, just pressure, like a fist punching me, LMAO. Thought I may have just been imagining it until last night.
He then goes even deeper.
I woke up with an X-shaped bruise in that area, like a perfect X.
He then tells us his trouble sleeping.
I couldn't sleep the days prior and was hearing weird stuff in my dreams, but I've had sleep paralysis before.
Zeke then assures us the injury can't be from anywhere else.
Didn't really even do anything beyond play MC and eat with my parents, I guess, but no gym or workout or anything. I'm on winter break, so.
Zeke then tells us inside the pink shrine there was loot that he found.
But weirdly, there was a chest inside the pink one.
Zeke stares at a book called Agamemnon's Heirs for a little bit.
Had some gold and a weird book titled some weird stuff. Assuming this is Minecraft lore or something?
As the video comes to an end, Zeke admits he's scared to go back.
I don't know, I haven't been able to sleep, and I'm scared to go into it again. Especially the blue one, not sure what it will do.
He then tries to rationalize it.
I doubt the injury is even remotely related to the structures, but it scared me. I don't know.
He then explains he already tried asking for help on this situation.
Posted this on Reddit days ago with no responses. Anyway, let me know if you have seen it before. Couldn't find it on Google, but maybe I have a mod or something. Java Minecraft, by the way.
Zeke then says bye, and the video ends. On the surface, Zeke's video feels unfinished, like the start of a Minecraft ARG that never got a second part, a project abandoned before it could really begin. But obviously, if we take this video as just Minecraft content, this is not normal. No structures like this generate in the basalt biome. There's no giant basalt wall with bamboo doors, so clearly this is the start of something that was never finished. There's small details, strange wording, and visuals that do not line up with Minecraft at all. Buried in this one video is evidence of something that doesn't seem to exist anywhere else, something tied to a potentially real-world anomaly I haven't been able to find documented outside of this footage. For now, I'm dubbing it the Agamemnon glitch, and the reason Zeke never uploaded again is not as simple as losing interest. This is where it all actually begins. Let's go back to the original video for a second. Up until this point, we've already covered the most obvious anomalies. You have the 2 shrines and the book with the strange title. And honestly, at first glance, that really does feel like the only things in the video that should raise any sort of red flags. Outside of Zeke's explanation of his injury and the structures themselves, there doesn't seem to be much else pointing us anywhere beyond the story the video is telling us. But that's not entirely true. Toward the end of the original video, Zeke mentions that he posted about this on Reddit days earlier and didn't get a single response. That fact immediately stood out to me because this is exactly the kind of post that usually does get attention, even if people think it's fake or part of an ARG, so I decided to see if that post actually existed. Now, finding Zeke's Reddit account was easy. It's the same name as the YouTube channel he posted on, and When you look at his post history, there's only one post total, made on the r/horror Minecraft subreddit. In the post, he's once again asking for help with a strange anomaly he found in his world, and the post reads almost exactly like what he says in the video. The post reads out this: "Anyone who knows anything about the basalt biome in Minecraft, please help me. Came across two structures that don't seem like they typically spawn here, at least from what I could find online. Does anyone have any idea what these might be? I'm attaching a Google Drive you can view to see more of what I'm talking about. I swear I've never installed any mods or world editors. Thank you for your help." Here it is. Finally, okay, Zeke has linked us to excess footage that may contain more answers into what the origin of these shrines is, but let's open this Google Drive and see what's inside of it. When we open it, we only see one video inside of it, and what's weird is it's just a video of Zeke running around the structures without him typing in the chat this time, or really even saying anything. The biggest thing to note about the entire video is not the video itself, but the title. It's titled something different, something ineligible, seemingly gibberish. Asking Google to decode anything on this file, it comes up with absolutely nothing, unsurprisingly. Now, watching this video, it is quite literally just Zeke showing us all sides of the shrines, which is helpful, I guess, but it doesn't really add anything substantive to the story. We just get to see that the shrines have no back doors, but look the exact same as the front. Refusing to accept that this was the end of my albeit short trail, I began to think a bit more about where we could be leading. Zeke is clearly using Google Drive to decode files, so maybe this line of text is a clue as where it could head next. Using this fact, I inserted the code into the back end of a Google Drive URL, and it worked. A completely different folder opened, one that wasn't linked anywhere publicly, and inside were several videos all recorded in different Minecraft environments, one strangely looking like it's multiple pieces, all with different file names. Two of them were labeled Agamemnon's Heirs, and the final one was named House of Atreus. This was the moment where I paused. Earlier in the original video, Zeke brings up a book titled the exact same thing, and up until now, this could have just been a creepy one-off name, but this felt very organized and deliberate, like there's some reason these things are named the exact same. It was here for the first time I started wondering whether I was looking at a real mystery or the documentation of something much more personal, someone who was just rambling and making up nonsense. Still, I committed to watching the videos in the order they were numbered, but before getting into them, there's one thing we need to talk about first. We'll get to the House of Atreus name later on, but first let's cover the two video titles and the title of the book that was shown in the video, as they are the most consistent thing we have right now. Agamemnon's Heirs. At first, this title didn't really mean anything to me. Agamemnon's Heirs sounds dramatic, sure, but it also sounds like something someone might just make up for a creepy project, so before I jumped to conclusions, I wanted to figure out whether the name actually meant anything or if it was just nonsensical. Looking up the name, we can almost certainly say it's not nonsensical. Agamemnon is a real historical figure. He was a king from Greek mythology, best known for leading the Greeks during the Trojan War. But what's more important than what he did is what happened after his death, especially to our story. His succession was a mess. Depending on the version of the story, his heirs either kill each other, or are killed, or are never able to rule completely cleanly. The throne is technically inherited, but it never stabilizes officially in the story. This is where the word heirs starts to matter a little more. In most myths, heirs are the continuation of authority, but in Agamemnon's case, his heirs exist without ever fully inheriting what they're supposed to. They do have a bloodline, but they don't have the power. Their line continues on, but the rule doesn't unless it's an unfortunate circumstances. Power in the story just completely stops, almost like a curse of sorts. Now, you may be asking, what's the connection between Agamemnon and Zeke and this whole story? Well, the way I interpret it is the shrines. Two structures, same exact size, of same importance. Neither of them is active or doing anything, but neither of them is dominant. They look the exact same minus the color. They just sit there, unresolved. The videos are called Agamemnon's Heirs, which to me means the shrines aren't just random structures, they're representations of those heirs. Two successors, both equally valid in their own ways, but both equally incapable without some sort of authority figure. While this is cool and all, it doesn't really give us any sort of conclusion. It's mainly just a guess. It's kind of just abstract at this point. So while nothing can be fully gathered from these titles without watching the videos themselves, going into them, we can conclude that Agamemnon's heirs isn't just a cool name for the folders, it's a summary of the initial problem. Not an answer for sure, but it's a setup so we can go into these videos and understand the context a bit more. So without further ado, let's hop into the first video, Agamemnon's Heirs 1. Opening the first video, we're greeted with about 14 minutes of what looks like just completely normal Minecraft gameplay. There's nothing immediately strange going on. We don't get any kind of title card or explanation as to what this player's doing. It's just a player exiting his home toward a village right in front of him. And we never really get to see who the player is, but based on the green hand model, it's almost certainly Zeke. The green turtle skin matches exactly what we saw in the original video. For a great majority of this clip, it's just a standard survival playthrough. He's clearly progressed pretty far into the game. He's carrying a diamond pickaxe, his armor bar is almost full, which probably means a mix of iron and diamond armor. We saw that in the original video. And we can conclude this isn't a fresh world, and based on his inventory and level, he's been playing for a bit. Seems he's died a fair amount too, due to how much progress is on his bar with the amount of time he's played. So while this all does just seem like a normal Minecraft survival playthrough, it only starts getting strange at the end. Toward the end of the video, Zeke enters a nearby cave close to his home. At first, nothing really seems off. It appears to be a fairly thin cave with water scattered throughout it, which is pretty typical of Minecraft cave generation. But it gets stranger when he investigates the other side of the cave, which has a very, very odd rectangular shape with cobblestone at the very bottom. If you know anything about Minecraft, you would know that perfectly square caves like this, while possible, typically don't generate in the game, and especially not with cobblestone lining the bottom. Zeke investigates it slightly, clearly noting that this is not typical, but he continues on further within the cave anyway. Zeke continues on his merry way, and as he goes forward, we see gold ore lining the walls of the cave. Based on the surrounding terrain and elevation, Zeke appears to be at the height where gold is uncommon, even in newer versions of the game. While gold can technically generate higher up under certain conditions, it is very unusual to see it concentrated in this way. Zeke doesn't really mind that and just mines the gold anyway. This makes sense because, as he's already mentioned before, he has not played Minecraft in years, so he would have no reason to question that. Zeke continues to mine the gold until he sees something that makes him stop in his tracks.
Just started playing again after a day. Maybe that is something. It's really dark. LOL. Might just be a cave though.
Zeke then goes towards the void, and as he gets closer, and as he stands on the ledge right before it, he just stares off into it for an extended period of time. The video then ends here after Zeke violently shakes back and forth, and it appears his mouse sensitivity almost went to 1,000,000. But the darkness that Zeke looks into looks empty, it looks barren. We don't really get to see what he's looking at exactly, or if he's even looking at anything, so I had the displeasure of enhancing the darkness to see if there was anything in it, and it's not there the entire time, but if you enhance it at a certain point while Zeke is looking into it, you see this. A face with very large eyes can be seen staring at Zeke from within the darkness. This face is extremely difficult to make out any actual features, but if the face is nearly invisible to us, how did Zeke react so strongly to it? The face appears to be human, possibly an older man, and resembles the style of many ancient statues found throughout history. Has a rigid, almost inhuman quality that feels intentional, rather than just a coincidence. So all this talk about the face leads to the more unsettling question. Whose face is this, and what is it doing inside Zeke's Minecraft world? Well, taking from every hint we've had so far, I believe this is Agamemnon, or at least some manifestation of him in some way. And the reason that is because I tried matching the face of any visual references we have tied to Agamemnon or figures from that area, and I came across a strange, ancient mask that almost fits perfectly with what the face we see in the darkness. If you were to give that mask eyeballs, it almost looks exactly the same, and all the features, the rigid statue-like features, line up almost perfectly too well with what feels like something that can't possibly be a coincidence. To round this all out, I don't think this is Agamemnon. I think it's something related to him, but not him. We need to start to look at what this actually is. At this point, it feels less like Zeke stumbled onto a random glitch, and more like his world became a host to something that was already incomplete, something that didn't obviously originate in Minecraft, but found a place where it could persist. Why could it persist in Minecraft? What is this? Well, let's talk about Minecraft for a second. Minecraft is a game built entirely around rules, progression, and inheriting stuff. And that makes it kind of a strange but a fitting place for an unresolved curse, or I guess we could call it a system instead, to survive. Still, none of this fully explains how the shrines, the book, the cave, and the face are connected in any concrete way. It also doesn't explain why Zeke's world specifically became the place where this surfaced. There is still a very real possibility that what we're seeing is completely meaningless and unreachable for us to really even try to understand. But the most frightening thing is there still remains 2 more videos within the drive, so before trying to force a definitive answer, let's move on to the next video and see if it gives us anything closer to clarity. Agamemnon's Heirs, number 2. Alright, right off the bat I gotta stop this. This is way too loud to be listening to, so for the rest of the video we're just gonna sit in silence and watch it. But in the background it appears to be some sort of opera singing in a demonic tone as the sun sets on a red sky, which is not typical in Minecraft, and what we can see around Zeke is that he's completely surrounded by the black mold that he looked into in that cave. The video goes on as Zeke watches the sunset. It's not normal, but he is just sitting there not doing anything. Something shocking happens in the video about 1/4 of the way through. It pauses for a second and shows us this. The gameplay is replaced by an image of a hospital bill, and the name of the hospital bill has been blacked out along with most identifying information, but enough remains visible to understand what it is. This is not a generic medical form. If you look deeper, it is written like a real bill, complete with charges and descriptions for one Zeke in California. And what we can read on the bill, yeah, there's a lot going on here, but let's break it down piece by piece. The first part is emergency department admission, acute psychological distress. The second part is continuous behavioral and neurological monitoring that went up to 6 hours. There's a psychiatric evaluation and consultation listed. There's medication administration, acute stabilization, and the most interesting part in my opinion is EEG monitoring, unexplained neurological event, which means the doctors didn't really know what was going on to Zeke. There was an overnight observation as well, and he was held there for at least 1 night. And then at the end, there was nursing care and vital monitoring. So, as we can see, Zeke had a long night. So now we know from Agamemnon's Heirs 1, when Zeke spazzes out at the very end after looking to the void, this was not a conscious decision. It seems like whatever he saw at the face caused him great psychological distress, so much so that he had to be admitted to a hospital for thousands of dollars for almost several days. And it seems like Zeke has not recovered. For obvious reasons, this is a huge discovery in our case. We now understand what physically happened to Zeke, and that all the symptoms he was describing earlier on match up perfectly well. It seems like he was psychologically and physically marked by something when he entered that shrine. Now, let's finish this video and see what else happens. By the way, I think it's best if we do keep the audio going, even if it's a little loud. I'll just turn it down so you guys don't get your eardrums bursted. Thanks, bye. Okay, we didn't even get time to breathe there because Zeke already said some strange stuff in the chat. Now, what he wrote is not eligible to English speakers. He wrote it in Greek, and if we were to translate what he said in Greek, it roughly translates to English, "Do not take this as a warning. Entry is acceptance." Okay, entry into what? Well, we can't really worry about that right now. Let's just go back to the video and see how this ends. But I will say, this is a good sign that Zeke can at least speak. He at least has some sort of cognitive function, even if it's been completely overwritten by something else. There it is again. There's the face, staring down at Zeke just after he mined the ground aimlessly for roughly 15 seconds. And here we get a way closer look at what this face looks like, and I think it's safe to say it almost exactly matches the mask picture we saw before. So, to me, that alludes that this isn't Agamemnon himself. Not at all. It's something masquerading as him. Something using his lineage, his bloodline. Something to do with that. But we gotta finish this. We gotta finish these videos. This is the end of Agamemnon's Heirs 2, and it's time to move on to the next one. However, before we move on to the next video, I do want to say what I think is going on here. What we can definitively conclude from the ending of this video. Taken together, Agamemnon's Heirs 2 shows that Zeke's situation is beyond saving. The line between the game and reality has been broken. It was broken long ago when he entered the Pink Shrine, and the Minecraft world is now reflecting Zeke's mental state directly. Whatever is inside of him is no longer hiding. It's using Zeke to speak to the next people who watch these videos, which, I'm gonna be honest, could very easily be us. Entry is acceptance. That really changes everything, making it clear that entering the shrines is a choice to become part of its ritual, not just exploring the basalt biome in the nether. It is a clear indication that this was set up long ago, and that whatever generated here in this world, it was designed to inhabit this curse. I believe this entity is pushing us toward the blue shrine specifically, trying to get us to step in and finish what was started by Zeke. And Zeke, well, he's not really searching for answers anymore or fighting the entity in his head. He's just only repeating the message it wants us to hear. And to me, that suggests that the entity needs us. It needs its two heirs to continue the curse. And Zeke, as the first and seemingly us as the second, it's pretty unclear what it wants in the end. But maybe this final video, House of Atreus, will have all the answers we need. I doubt it, though. Okay, here we are. The final video in the Google folder. Zeke's experience, Agamemnon, the heirs, the shrines, the black void taking over his world, the face in the dark, and the blood red sky in this video. Where else could this possibly be going? If anything is going to provide the final answers, it is this video, simply titled House of Atreus. This is a shift from the previous two titles. While the others focused on Agamemnon and his heirs, this one has a mysterious, almost nonsensical name if you don't know Agamemnon's story. So before we hit play, we have to understand the weight of that name. In Greek mythology, which has been the strange origin of all the happenings in these videos, the House of Atreus is a generational curse. It's a bloodline defined by an endless cycle of horrific acts like betrayal, murder, and, most horrifyingly of all, cannibalism that forced every person born into it to suffer the crimes of their relatives. This was not just anybody in Greece's legacy, it was specifically Agamemnon's family legacy, a relentless cycle of bloodshed that began long before he was born, but he eventually became the star inheritor of. It started when Atreus, Agamemnon's father, murdered his brother's children and served them as a meal to settle a grudge, solidifying a theme of cannibalism and betrayal within his lineage. This legacy of horror continued even further when Agamemnon himself was forced to lure his own daughter, Iphigenia, to a sacrificial altar under a false marriage, killing her just to secure favorable winds for his warships. The violence inevitably returned to him. As he returned from the Trojan War, Agamemnon was trapped in his own bathtub and axed to death by his wife, Clytemnestra, and her estranged lover. Even then, the cycle continued on, compelling Agamemnon's son, Orestes, to murder his own mother to avenge his father. So, by titling his final file House of Atreus, the anomaly is telling us, the viewers, that Zeke wasn't just a player who found mysterious shrines. He was forcibly the latest descendant of a pre-written tragedy, and the pressure in his chest and the X on his skin were not just random. They were the marks of a sacrifice, the marks of a curse that has somehow hidden itself in the depths of a seed code. Now that the black mold has consumed everything in Zeke's world, and Zeke himself has been reduced to a vessel in an empty void, we have to ask, with all the tragic finalities that we've seen, does this video show the end of the curse, or does it show the curse finding its next home in potentially another person? Alright, well, there's no other way to find out than opening it. So, let's see. Looks kind of weird, like it's in this drive or something. Maybe Zeke started the video after he created this. I don't know. Alright. Let's see. Right off the bat, we're seeing a new video. This wasn't here initially. Huh. It's called Surrender to It. It's circling the video. Okay. Well, it's not in our folder. I can literally check. It's not there. Whoa, 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 whoa. I feel really uncomfortable right now. What in the world? Someone's probably editing this while I'm looking at it. I'm not clicking on that. I can't. I know we need to finish this, but I cannot click on that. That has it's the blue shrine right there. And then that's the pink one. Looks different though. I don't know what's going on. I need some time to collect myself. That was really weird. That was literally as I closed the video. Okay. We need to finish this, so. Okay. Well, we're in this together, right? Yeah. You're in this with me. Okay, I get it now. I get all of this. And I think I stopped it just in time. It doesn't need me to literally enter the blue shrine in Minecraft, no, it just needs me to see the inside of it, and whatever is inside of it, whatever soul or being resides inside that shrine can latch onto you just by visual contact with it. I stopped it right when it was about to show me inside, the seemingly final piece it needed, or in Zeke's case was the catalyst to the whole event. We had already made contact with the soul's physical face, it just needed us to enter the shrine for some reason, but we didn't. We stopped the cycle, I'm pretty sure. And you know what? That's all thanks to Zeke, who I fear in this whole process we've lost. He documented what he found, even when it scared him, and he stopped before he could finish whatever he was doing. The blue shrine was never entered, and that matters more than anything else. Whatever this thing is, it doesn't move on its own. It continues when someone carries it forward, and Zeke sacrificed himself, unwillingly, to save all of us, to make sure there's documentation so we know not to allow this thing to go any further. I know, you want to see what's inside, you want me to finish it so we can see it too. But that curiosity, that's what started all of this centuries ago, and it still persists today. But today is the day we stop letting it try to control us. Thank you, Zeke, and goodbye for now.